Money keep coming in, I can't lose. Money keep coming in, I can't lose. Foreign girls in their tents, I can't choose. Foreign car got me in, I can't cruise. Got different color on my.
Hey, what's up guys? In this video today, we're going to be taking a look at how ZaynSZN is able to beat insanely good players like Cootie Clap KC and Mongrel and many more pros that are pretty well known for wagering and being really good at the game. The thing with Zayn is that everyone thinks that he's a terrible player and they expect him to be really bad, and then they hop into his stream and they watch him 1v1 really good players and watch him 3-0 them or dominate them, and most people think it's just because of his traps, but the thing is that it's not. His traps do play a big part in how he keeps beating players, but they are not the sole reason why he beats everyone, and we're going to get into why he's so good and how he can beat so many players when he looks like he's such a bad player. Alright guys, so the 1v1 that we're going to be watching right now is going to be Zayn versus FaZe Mongrel. Mongrel is one of the best Fortnite players and he's placed in the World Cup, so let's see how this plays out. First up, what we realize is that Zayn is actually super good at 90ing. It doesn't look good because it's very clunky and clustered, and his 90s aren't that clean. But what we see is that Zayn is able to outdo Mongrel when it comes to 90ing up, and he instantly gets the high ground in the beginning of every single fight that they do. And knowing that how good Mongrel is and how well known he is for his 90s, it's pretty interesting to see that Zayn is taking advantage and getting the high ground advantage over Mongrel when they're starting out with the 90s. And just like that, Zayn gets his high ground. Now, once again over here, we can see that Mongrel was able to get his high ground back using retakes, and Zayn shot him down by breaking his wall and editing his wall and getting him to fall down. Zayn is a really smart player, and that's one thing that people usually don't realize because of the way that he plays. People really think that Zayn is a bad player because of the fact that he plays clunky. To show you guys an example of this, many people consider Razor X to be one of the best controller players because of the fact that he plays so smooth with his builds. The thing is, Zayn is not smooth whatsoever. In fact, he's probably one of the clunkiest controller players I've ever seen. However, we see that he can beat players like FaZe Mongrel, who play on keyboard and mouse and are considered to be one of the best Fortnite players in the world. And that is because of how fast Zayn plays. Zayn is not really a smooth player. He just plays really fast and is very efficient with things like 90s and high ground retakes. They don't necessarily look nice because he's not good at transitioning from one move to another. And what he is good at is simply doing them with perfect timing and accuracy in order to get maximum effectiveness on his builds. As we just saw over here, Zayn was able to put pyramids right in front of Mongrel, and he does so because he's a smart player. If we see him play, he isn't once again the best builder, but he does play very smart. And over here, if Mongrel edited that pyramid, Zayn would have been ready to shoot him right over here and go ahead and get a huge damage off on him. Now, of course, Mongrel is also a smart player, so he does not edit the pyramid and make that mistake. However, we could see that Zayn was ready to take the shot, and that's a really good example of how Zayn plays and how smart he really is. Mongrel, we could see, is also smart, but Mongrel isn't necessarily a wager player. Zayn is insanely good at playing wagers and playing for getting those damage shots off without taking damage. And the way he does this is by keeping his high ground and cranking really efficient 90s. As you can see over here, he's trying to shoot down Mongrel, but he sees that Mongrel has the high ground and he is still going for it. Most players at this point would have shot him down, but what Zayn knows is that Mongrel would instantly shoot him on his way down because he knows exactly where Zayn is. Zayn is once again really good at wagering, and he knows what he's doing when he's wagering, and that's why he destroys people when they're wagering. Over here, he exhausts Mongrel's ammo by constantly holding him into his box while placing traps, meaning that the only thing that Mongrel can try to do is break out of it, which he can't do. And another interesting thing about the way Zayn plays is that he uses traps, which is something that no one does. Because no one uses traps, and Zayn has been using them for a really long time, he is really good at using traps in 1v1. And because people are not used to using traps, it gives him a super big advantage because he knows what he's doing with them. And that's what gives him the ability to beat players like Mongrel and pros that are not used to wagering like he does. Another aspect of the way he wagers is the fact that he shoots people down very intelligently, and he knows what he's doing. He doesn't just do things randomly, and he coordinates almost every single move that he performs. He knows what he's doing with traps, and he knows how to do 90s and high ground retakes very effectively. He just doesn't look smooth when he does it, and that gives people the perception that he's a bad player. And that's what causes people to hop into wagers with him and throw their money at him, expecting to win, and then find themselves getting 3-0'd as soon as the 1v1s start. And this is because they don't expect him to be good because of the way that he plays. He's the first player to look bad and actually be good because of the effectiveness of his moves, and it throws everyone off. It throws pros like Mongrel and Cootie Clap KC and other people like that off, and they don't expect him to be good. They hop into these games, they lose their first couple of matches, and then they get thrown off by how bad they're getting beaten, and they keep losing. And of course, Zayn also gets in their heads, and that causes some more confusion as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to comment SZN in the comments below to let me know that you guys saw it until the end. And yeah guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.